Hey guys, happy Friday. I'm so happy to be back with you guys for the Kim Cooks Live cooking show. It's been a couple weeks, but we're restarting it, and I'm here making really easy, delicious recipes with you guys every single week. And today we're going to be making the vegan Tom Kha Soup, which is a really light soup. It's really delicious. It's great any time of year. It'll fill you up. It has lots of minerals in it, lots of healthy beauty fat, and it's just a really delicious soup, and it takes about 10 minutes to make. So it's something I make a lot. I really like different clear soups. I like chunky soups. I think soup is a really great thing for energy, and it digests well, and it's also really great for helping you maintain your weight without having to obsess over tiny portion sizes, because soup is filling. It's got lots of liquids, so it's really great when we can make really delicious and beautifying soups that are really easy. Hi Rachel, hi Valerie, I'm so glad you guys are tuning in. So to start, we're going to be filling this with 1 3/4 cup of vegetable broth. And this is a vegetable broth that we make ourselves here in the house. We just have so many kitchen scraps from making the GGS every day. So if you are inspired to, you can just start sieving the ends of your celery and your carrots and whatever else, and you can put it in a big pot and bring it to a boil, simmer it for an hour or so, strain it. It's really easy to make broth. It adds a lot of flavor. Because I'm having so much soup, it's much easier to make big containers of broth, and then we store them in the fridge in glass jars like this. So this is the base of our soup today. This is like 1 serving, and if you're going to be making it for obviously more people in your family, just double or triple the recipe. But just for me, 1 3/4 cup of broth, and I'm just gonna let that get hot, and we'll bring it down to a simmer in a minute. Hi guys, you guys are tuning in. Yes, Alana said it's a great way to reduce food waste. It absolutely is, and it's just so easy to do that I used to, kind of have this mental block against making broth. I thought it would be like this big, huge deal. But it is actually really easy to make. It doesn't take that much time. Oops, there goes my mushy. Oh, so here's what I'm doing now, guys. I'm just slicing 2 of these button mushrooms, which you could get at the store, and I'm slicing them pretty thinly. These are huge mushrooms, but you only need really 2 for this soup, and this is going to help flavor our broth as well. And if you guys have had it's a vegan Tom Kha. There's no chicken or anything in it. There's no chicken broth, but the mushrooms are also going to also add nice flavor to our broth. So as you guys can see, I just sliced 2 mushrooms nice and thin. I'm going to go ahead and put that right into our vegetable broth and let that sort of do its thing for a minute. Hi guys. Juliana said, "Where's your jumper from?" Oh, thanks. It's from this place here in LA called the General Store. They have really cute things. So the mushrooms are in. And now what I'm going to add to my broth is this. It's called Star Anise, and this is from Frontier Co-op, which is a spice brand I love. It's organic. It's easy to find at the market. And I should mention that this is a really Tom Kha. I went to Thailand a couple years ago and did this vegan cooking class, and we made these soups, and it took like hours, and we were charring the onions and adding them and adding all this different stuff, so it can be really complicated. This is a super simple, easy version to make, like I said, in 10 or 15 minutes. But if you can get Star Anise, it adds a really nice flavor for this soup, and it tastes really great. And again, you can get this at the store. And I just realized in my Friday, my Friday head, which is so discombobulated, that I'm actually making vegan pho, P-H-O. I'm so sorry, vegan pho soup, not Tom Kha, which is another recipe I did. I'm so sorry, you guys. This is like the Vietnamese soup, which has lots of flavor in it, and is also an Asian soup, and that's what we're making today with the mushrooms. I'm so sorry. Either way, 10 or 15 minutes. You don't have to get much. It's probably mostly in your kitchen, but you do want to get the Star Anise if you can. And I'm going to take 2 of these beautiful, they really are pretty, these spices, and I'm just going to drop it in our broth, which is starting to get hot, and when it starts to come up to a boil, I'm going to bring it down to a simmer. So one of the things I found, why I really like making these these Asian soups at home is, here in LA, we're really lucky because there's a lot of vegan Asian restaurants, but otherwise you get a lot of stuff like shrimp paste and fish sauce that can be added into recipes even if you're not getting chicken or you're not getting beef. So by making these simple soups at home, it just ensures that you're not getting ingredients that you don't want to be ingesting, and you are without realizing it. So it's all about the broth. We're just letting, it just came up to a boil, so I'm going to reduce it down to a simmer. And then what else I have this beautiful kale here. This is my favorite kind of kale, this Lacinato kale. So waxy, so beautiful. You can also get curly kale, but this is really my favorite. I love how dark it is. It's so rich in minerals. So we're going to chop up, I'm going to do just a rough chop here, about half a cup. And I don't really measure when I'm cooking for myself. I just kind of chop it up, take a big handful, and I'm going to dump that into the soup also. I love soup because it's so imprecise. You can just kind of throw things in there and measure the taste. If you like it more brothy, obviously add more vegetable broth to it. If you like it a little bit thicker, obviously add less. So the kale's in there. If you guys were doing this in real time, you would let that broth simmer for at least 10 minutes before you start adding in the greens and everything else. But we're gonna pretend like we're fast forwarding now. It's probably been about 4 minutes. So that broth is in there with the mushrooms, the star anise. I just dropped in the kale. And then you want to add in a 1/4 cup of parsley or cilantro, or what I'm doing here is a combination of these herbs. And I love these herbs. They're really fragrant. They have great properties. They help chelate. They help to bind to heavy metals in your system, which can lodge in your fat cells, and they cause inflammation and lots of free radicals. So I love adding these herbs whenever I can. So I'm going to dump that in our soup also, which is on a low simmer. Let's keep it nice and low. And, people always ask me, oh, do you eat soup in the summer? Do you eat it when it's hot? And the answer is yes. Like if you look at countries like Thailand and Vietnam, which are really hot, you'll find that they have soup all year round, and they also have a lot of spicy food all year round. And hot soup and spicy food can actually help cool your body. So I'm a huge soup fan all year round. As I mentioned earlier, if you guys are joining us, I think soup is a really great way to maintain energy. It's a great way to lose weight or maintain weight because it's filling, it's nutritious, but it's not, we all know that feeling. It really sucks when you're just trying to eat a tiny portion size of something and you're still hungry. And I feel like with soup, you can get a nice big bowl, you can get a lot of nutrition in, and it is, again, quite filling. Hi, Amanda. From Boston. So excited to see you this summer. Yes, about to head into yoga. Yes, I'm going to be with you guys on the East Coast this summer. I'm so excited, as well as Chicago. Please check the schedule on KimberlyCenter.com in events. I'm going to be in New York and Philly and DC and Chicago. Where else? Boston, and I think Pittsburgh. You guys check the schedule. I'm really excited. It's going to be in July. So back to our soup. I actually pre-measured this out because I wanted to make sure that we had enough coconut milk for the demo. This is really thick coconut milk. This is what I use when I'm cooking. I get this question a lot about coconut milk. It's from So Delicious. It's the culinary coconut milk, and you can get this in the Asian section of grocery stores. It's a lot thicker than the regular coconut milk that you get in cartons, which is pretty watery. And I try to avoid cans whenever I can. Even if the cans are BPA free, there may be, some possible other contaminants in cans. I mean, it's not, if you can't avoid it, then, you do what you can. But if you can find cartons, it's really a great alternative. So I just want to show you guys. I'm going to bring this over because now the soup became this pretty cool color. It's like milky, but not too milky, and that fattiness makes the soup rich, and it also makes it more filling. If you want to have this soup with, traditional pho has noodles. I'm a huge rice person. I really love brown rice, so I will always prefer rice over noodles. But we do have, I do have these rice noodles, which I use sometimes in my soup. If that's what you'd rather have, you could also put the noodles in as well. But so far we did the coconut milk, and now what we're gonna do is there's actually a little bit of sugar that goes into some Asian recipes that are savory, and it does add flavor. And we're not used to doing that all the time. And I'm not one that just casually uses sugar, uses sugar, but a little bit goes a long way. So this is coconut sugar, which is of course still sugar, but it does have some minerals. And we're just gonna put in about 3/4 of a teaspoon, and this is just gonna balance all the flavors in the soup. So I'm gonna add that in. And you can get coconut sugar, you know, pretty easily. This is the Navitas brand, certified organic. There's also a brand I like called Big Tree Farms, and you can check that out also. And now we're going to add tamari or liquid aminos, which is a non-GMO, sort of watery soy sauce without the gluten. I don't know if you guys realize, but regular soy sauce has so much gluten in it because it's thickened with wheat. So I'm gonna put a tablespoon here. It's a little bit less concentrated than tamari, so I'm gonna taste it at the end, and I might just add a little bit more. But this is gonna add some nice salt flavor and a little bit of richness to our soup. And I'm just gonna keep stirring it. Let's make it a little brown. I like to try it now. Wow, it's really good. What I love is it's just so easy to make food that's great with a few great ingredients, and it doesn't have to be this big fancy thing. Okay, so here's our final ingredient, and we're going to turn off the heat before we add this in. So pretend that this has been simmering for like 10 or 15 minutes, even though it's been, it's been 11 minutes. So you would use a lime. This is, our auntie brought this from her garden. This is calamansi, which is like Filipino lime lemons. They're really little. At the end, we're gonna turn off the heat and we're gonna squeeze in the juice of half a lime. So that would probably be maybe 3 of these little guys. So it's all about balance, especially with soup. We added the sweet from the coconut sugar, and then we have the salty from the tamari or the liquid amino acids. We have the fattiness from the coconut milk, and now we're gonna add the sourness from the lime. And we have those earthy flavors as well, from the star anise, from our little mushies. So everything feels really balanced. So what I'm gonna do is, these little limes are so tiny. Look how cute they are. They're tiny, but they're really flavorful. And you know, when I've been to the Philippines and my relatives that are Filipino, it is very widely used. But again, if you're just making this for yourself, just use regular lime, half a lime. So I'm taking it off the heat. You don't really want to heat the lime because that could make it feel a little bit overly sour. And I'm going to give it a nice stir. I'll show you guys what it looks like now. Hello. There it is. So here's our soup. Here's what it looks like so far. It's, again, got mushrooms in it, and now I'm just squeezing in the lime. Mushrooms, kale, parsley, some cilantro. Oops, a couple seeds got in there, which I'll be sure to fish out before I eat it. These tiny little Asian limes have so much flavor, but they have so many seeds. So this is something I would make for myself, and I would eat it with a bowl of brown rice. I wouldn't just have this soup with nothing. Or as I mentioned, if you really like noodles, I would add some noodles towards the end and let them simmer in there and have it be like a nice, like more of a traditional pho, more of a traditional noodle soup. But it just depends on you. Sometimes I like noodles, but I really love rice. I grew up eating so much rice that's sort of my my go-to. So I'm trying it now again with the lime added in, which balances the sugar and it's really delicious. And it's so easy. And as you guys saw, I did that in like 10 minutes. So I'm gonna show you guys my favorite soup bowl. It's just basically just a big, huge white bowl. And I'm going to pour the whole soup in here. And then if you want, you can garnish the top with some, you know, cilantro, parsley. Ta-da! So there's our soup. There's our vegan pho which I was calling Tom Kha at the beginning of our recipe. But it's really, really easy. It's really delicious. It's milky, it's yummy. And what I do a lot, as I mentioned to you guys, I'm gonna poke around in my fridge because I almost always have leftover sprouted brown rice. I do sprout my brown rice. I soak it overnight and then I cook it, and then I have leftover. I'm gonna heat it in my green pan. This is gonna be my lunch when we finish our video. Or late lunch. I was out with Bubby. Hi guys, thank you guys. So now let's see what kind of questions you guys have. You missed what, Kim said she missed what veggies went in. So the broth we used, so I'll review again. We used vegetable broth. This is homemade vegetable broth, really easy to make. We store in these glass jars. Then I took 2 button mushrooms and I sliced them, added that to the broth with 2 star anise, and you boil down, you bring it to a boil, then bring it to a simmer, reduce it to a simmer and let it chill there for 10-15 minutes. Then I added kale, Lacinato, my favorite, and then we did parsley and cilantro. You could add what other veggies you want to, but this, I kept it green, simple with the mushrooms. And then we added some liquid brags, some coconut milk, a little bit of coconut sugar to balance, because traditional Asian soup, and then you would use lime. This is calamansi. This is like an Asian lime. So the full recipe is on KimberlySnyder.com if you guys missed it, but super simple, super easy to make. It's just a great recipe to have all year round. And you guys know me for smoothies. I make a lot of smoothies. Besides the Glowing Green smoothie and the Power Protein, we put out smoothies every week. Again, if you guys get on my mailing list, I'm sending you guys free recipes every week. But I'm really passionate about soup too, because I think soup is filling, it's full of nutrients, it's easy to digest, and it leaves you, it keeps you feeling full. I really dislike being hungry and eating small portion sizes, as I'm sure none of us really like. So a nice big warm soup meal is really satisfying and fantastic. And Denise said, yes, a lot of gluten there's a lot of gluten in regular soy sauce. So tamari is like, you can find it at health markets. It's pretty common now. It is basically soy sauce. You want to make sure you get organic, which doesn't have, non-GMO, of course, soybeans. But it doesn't have the gluten. It doesn't have the wheat added in, which is really fantastic. Oh, yay. Mario, we have someone from Ireland, which is great. Denise says, love the books. Oh, great. I'm so glad. I have some exciting news I'll be announcing in the next few weeks, but I've been listening to you guys about feedback for the books, and yeah, some exciting announcements coming up around that. How much coconut milk did you add? Jamie asked. So I did 1/2 cup, but as I mentioned, I did the really thick culinary coconut milk, not a watery one. If you use the more watery coconut milks, you might want to add a little bit more, but 1/2 cup of that really nice, rich, fatty coconut milk is what I did. Hi guys, when will you be in Canada? Oh, we don't have plans yet, but I would love to make it to Canada for sure. Tony, if you guys listen to the podcast, I was just talking to Tony's up in Canada right now. So I would like to make it there for sure. From Boston. Okay, well, it was so great to be with you guys. I hope you guys try this for yourself. Again, it's the vegan pho recipe. It was published a couple weeks ago on KimberlySnyder.com. We'll try and link to this. I think you can do that afterwards if you want the exact recipe, the exact recipe instructions and the specific amounts. But it's really easy, really great, tastes really fresh, and it's a great lunch or easy dinner, again, with noodles or brown rice. So thank you guys so much for being with me. I'm going to be more consistent with our cooking show. Now I'm back. I'm grounded here for a while, and love to be with you guys, love to cook with you guys, love to hear what you're thinking. So have an amazing weekend. I will be back on our podcast Monday, Beauty Inside Out, and I'll be on the blog with you guys and social. So I'll see you guys soon.